She wakes up at 4 in the morning. The side of the bed where you slept is still cold. She grabs her cell phone from the nightstand, opens WhatsApp, and sees your last message stuck on "Seen" 3 weeks ago. The silence you chose isn't loud, it's a throbbing emptiness. Before, you were the "Good morning, my love," at 6:30 a.m., the 40-second audio asking if her coffee was good, the guy who remembered her dentist appointment and sent "good luck" before heading into a meeting. Now, zero. And that zero hurts more than the Sunday arguments, more than the day she humiliated you. She stares at the ceiling, relives the smell of your cologne on the pillow, quietly asks, "What did I do? Why did he disappear for good? Does he already have someone else sharing the duvet?" Your silence has turned into a knot in her throat, transforming the woman who decided everything into an insecure girl who opens your Instagram 30 times a day just to see if you've posted something new. Her friends have already noticed. You're spaced out, you don't laugh at jokes, you're on your phone all the time. She brushes it off with, "I'm tired from work," but inside she's burning. She posts subtle messages in her WhatsApp status with songs you used to listen to in the car, likes old photos where you both appear at family birthdays, asks your mutual friend, "Is he doing okay?" Nothing. Your disdain is calm, adult, without a long goodbye text. The one who used to leave you on read for hours is now freaking out if you're online for 3 minutes without opening her message. The tables have turned. The one who ruled the relationship is now begging. The one who ignored is now stalking. And the worst part, she feels it deeply. She knows she lost control. She knows you're lighter without the nighttime arguments in the bedroom. She knows this silence is the biggest punishment a person can have. You were her safe harbor. You canceled soccer with friends to lie on the couch with her watching a series, replied, "We'll schedule it later" to outings, and stayed home waiting for a "come over." She thought you were forever, that you would stay even after the fights, even after she said, "I need space." But when you truly disappear, when you stop calling on Sunday night, stop sending "have a good week" audios, stop asking about the dog you shared, her world collapses. She starts doubting everything. The body she works out every day, the new makeup, the choices she made in her 30s. How did he have the courage to erase me? Her pride breaks, her ego hits the floor, and in the middle of that hole, an obsession is born. Needing to understand, needing to go back, needing to prove she's still the main one. This is the lost generation. They like the man who doesn't call every day, the guy who leaves them on read even after years of history, a joint account, and a family health plan. They want the one who runs away. They despise the one who stays. And you, who were present, loyal, genuine? You turned into the fool, the backup she called when her new date failed. While you gave up trips, happy hours, new chances out of respect for what you had, she used your attention as a remedy for her neediness. Now, with your silence, she feels firsthand what it's like to lose a real partner. She feels the jealousy burn when she sees you at a friend's barbecue posting a smiling photo. She feels the anxiety of no longer knowing about your day. She feels the desperation of wanting back what she thought would never leave. And in today's content, I'm going to show you the 19 reasons why she falls head over heels when you finally give up in silence and stop chasing her. From now on, you will hear everything the media hides from you. The hidden truth that many fear to speak openly. Therefore, subscribe to the channel immediately, activate the bell, leave your like, and comment from which city you are following us, so that the algorithm pushes this video to more men who are blind to the reality we show here. It's not enough for you to wake up alone. We need to create a network of aware and informed men. Now let's get to what really matters. First reason, she falls in love because you are no longer hers. When you finally give up and walk away in silence, something changes completely inside her. For the first time, she realizes that you are no longer there waiting, that constant presence has simply vanished from her life. It is at this moment that she begins to feel an emptiness that did not exist before, because when you were present, she was certain that she could count on you whenever she wanted. This certainty made her not truly value what you had, because in her head, you would always be available. Now that you're gone, she begins to look back and see everything differently. The conversations that seemed normal are now missed. The moments she considered common now seem special in her memory. She starts to realize that she had something valuable in her hands and let it slip away. What was once guaranteed has now become a distant memory, and this awakens in her a new feeling of wanting to recover what she lost. She starts to idealize you in a way she never did when you were around, because now you represent something she no longer has control over. The absence begins to weigh more than the presence did, and every day that passes without you makes her question if she made the right decision. She catches herself thinking about you at the most random times, imagining what you're doing, who you're talking to, if you've already moved on. And the longer the time passes in silence, the stronger this feeling of loss becomes within her, until it turns into a real need to have you back. This feeling of loss intensifies because she begins to compare the before and after. Before, you were always present, always responding to her messages, always available to talk about anything, always interested in her day, always making her feel special even when she didn't reciprocate in the same way. Now all that is over, and she feels the weight of that absence in a way she never imagined. She realizes that she got used to your attention, your affection, the way you made her feel important, and now that all of that is gone, she feels empty and lost. Her routine has completely changed because you are no longer a part of it. The songs you used to listen to together now hurt when they play on the radio. The places you used to frequent now bring painful memories. Even the little things in everyday life, like seeing something funny and no longer being able to share it with you, have become constant reminders that you are no longer hers. And it is precisely this constant pain, this persistent reminder that she lost you, that begins to transform indifference into interest, disinterest into desire, and apathy into true passion. The most interesting thing is that the more time passes, the more she convinces herself that you were special and that she made a serious mistake by not valuing what she had. She begins to reconstruct an idealized version of you in her head, remembering only the good moments and forgetting anything negative that might have happened. In her mind, you become the perfect man she let slip away, the relationship that could have worked if she had given it a real chance, the love story that ended before it even began. She regrets every time she ignored you, every message she left unread, every moment she chose someone else instead of you, every opportunity she wasted to build something real with you. And this regret transforms into a desperate desire to go back in time and do things differently, to have another chance, to show you that now she understands your value and is ready to give you the attention you always deserved. But time doesn't go back, and you are no longer available, and it is precisely this impossibility that makes her feeling grow more and more, until it turns into a silent obsession that consumes her thoughts day and night. Second reason, she started seeing you as a high-value man. Your silence and withdrawal have completely changed the way she sees you. Men who know when to walk away, who don't beg for attention, and who move on with dignity are rare, and she knows it. When you simply stopped chasing and disappeared without drama, you showed a strength of character that she didn't expect. Before, while you were always available showing interest, she placed you in an inferior position in her head, as someone she could easily control or ignore because you clearly had nothing better to do. But the moment you left, that entire image transformed. Suddenly, you became the man who has self-respect, who doesn't accept crumbs, who doesn't stay where he is not valued. This kind of attitude awakens something deep in her because it shows that you have options, that you have a life of your own, that you don't need her to be happy. And that is extremely attractive in the eyes of women. She starts to wonder what you're doing, who you're meeting, why you were able to leave so easily while she is still stuck thinking about you. You went from being predictable to being interesting, from being common to being different from everyone else she knows. Now she sees you as that man who doesn't stoop, who knows his own worth and who doesn't beg anyone for love. This perception changes everything because she starts to respect you in a way she never respected you before. While you were chasing, she saw you as someone desperate, someone who needed her more than she needed you, someone who was willing to accept any treatment just to be near her. But now that you've walked away, you've shown that you have boundaries, that you have dignity, that you won't stay in a place where you are not wanted. And this elevates you in her eyes in an impressive way. She starts to notice qualities in you that were always there but that she completely ignored. She realizes that you are a complete man, interesting, valuable, and that she was a complete idiot for not seeing it sooner. She looks at the other men around her and realizes that none of them have the same posture you had, the same courage to leave, the same inner strength to choose their own peace instead of begging for attention. And the more she compares you to others, the more you stand out, the more you shine in her mind as that rare man who really knows how to position himself and value himself. This change in perception also deeply affects the sexual and romantic desire she feels for you. High-value men are naturally more desired because they represent conquest, challenge, social and emotional status. When you were always available, you didn't represent any of that to her. But now you represent all that and much more. She starts imagining you in ways she never imagined before, desiring you in ways she never desired, fantasizing about what it would be like to be with you now that you have become this different man in her eyes. She realizes that she completely underestimated you, that she misjudged your character, that she failed to recognize the rare gem she had in front of her. And this realization hurts deeply, but it also lights an intense flame of attraction and admiration. She wants to prove to you that she also has value, that she deserves a man like you, that she can be the woman who is up to the man you've become. The respect she didn't have before has now transformed into genuine admiration, and this admiration mixes with desire, creating a powerful combination of feelings that she never experienced in relation to you. You stopped being that common guy and became the man she wants to conquer, impress, and keep by her side. Third reason, you've stopped being the easy option. While you were always available, you were the safe and comfortable option she could access whenever she wanted. She knew that all she had to do was send a message, give a smile, or show a little interest, and you would be there running to attend to her. This ease killed any real chance of her developing true feelings for you. But now that you've disappeared, everything has changed. You've stopped being that person who is always waiting on the line, always ready to respond immediately, always willing to drop everything for her. This disappearance made you something rare, something she can no longer have easily. And when something becomes difficult to obtain, the desire for it naturally increases. She starts to realize that she can no longer call you back with a simple gesture, that you are no longer orbiting around her waiting for an opportunity. This creates a complete inversion in the dynamic that existed before. Now she is the one wondering how to reach you, what to do to get your attention again, how to reclaim the space she had in your life. Ease has been replaced by difficulty, and this change awakens an interest in her that never existed. This inversion deeply affects her mind because she is not used to this situation. Throughout the time you were present, she had total control of the situation. She was the one who decided when to respond to your messages, when to give attention, when to meet up with you, when to show interest. You were always there available, always waiting, always giving more than you received. And this put her in a position of power that was extremely comfortable for her. But now that power is completely gone. She no longer controls anything because you are no longer in the game. She can no longer manipulate you emotionally because you are simply not accessible. She can no longer use you as an escape valve or as a second option because you are no longer available to be used. And this loss of control generates tremendous anxiety in her, an urgent need to regain the power she had, to have you back in her hands. But now this no longer depends only on her, and this uncertainty, this lack of guarantee, this impossibility of predicting what will happen, all contribute to exponentially increase her interest in you. She wants back what was easy precisely because now it has become difficult. The most fascinating thing is that the longer you remain distant and inaccessible, the more valuable your attention becomes in her eyes. Before, when you sent messages every day, each message had almost zero value to her because she knew she would have another one tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and whenever she wanted. But now, if by some chance you appear or respond to something, that will have a huge weight for her, it will make her day, it will be a reason for her to keep thinking and analyzing every word for hours. The scarcity of your presence has completely transformed the perceived value of any interaction with you. She begins to understand that you are no longer that abundant and always available resource, but rather something rare and precious that she had and lost. And people always want more of what they can't easily have. She begins to fantasize about what it would be like to get your attention again, about what she would do differently if she had another chance, about how she would treat you better if you came back. But you don't come back, and the more time passes with you distant, the more she values every memory she has of you, the more she desires to have back what was so easy and now seems impossible. You have transformed from an easy option to a difficult conquest, and this transformation has completely changed the game between you. Fourth reason, Now she sees you as the man who doesn't chase, and this increases your value. There is something deeply attractive about a man who simply doesn't chase, who doesn't beg, who doesn't humiliate himself trying to win over someone who is clearly not interested. And you have become exactly that man in her eyes. When you decided to walk away in silence, without drama, without scenes, without trying to convince her to change her mind, you demonstrated an emotional maturity and inner strength that are extremely rare. Most men, when rejected or ignored, become desperate trying to reverse the situation, sending messages non-stop, asking for explanations, begging for another chance, making emotional declarations, basically lowering themselves in the hope of getting her attention back. But you didn't do any of that. You simply accepted the situation, recognized that you were not being valued, and decided to preserve your dignity by leaving. And this attitude speaks volumes about who you are as a man. She realizes this now, and it elevates you to a completely different level in her perception. You have become that rare guy who has enough self-respect not to crawl after anyone, and that is incredibly attractive. This no-chase stance communicates several important things to her. First, it shows that you have options and are not desperate for female companionship. A man who chases demonstrates that he has no other alternatives, that he is alone, that he needs that specific woman because no one else is interested in him. But a man who simply walks away demonstrates the opposite, that he has a life of his own, that he has other people around, that he is not emotionally dependent on a single woman to feel complete. Second, it shows that you have standards and do not accept any kind of treatment. When you stop chasing, you are silently saying that you deserve to be treated with respect, consideration, and reciprocity, and that you won't stay in a place where those things don't exist. This communicates self-confidence and high self-esteem, which are extremely attractive traits. Third, it shows that you are selective and are not willing to invest energy in someone who does not invest in you. This demonstrates emotional intelligence and maturity, because you understand that relationships work when there is balance, and not when one person gives everything and the other gives nothing. All these implicit messages tremendously increase your perceived value in her eyes. Furthermore, the fact that you don't chase creates an aura of mystery and unpredictability around you that didn't exist before. When you were always present and always available, she knew exactly what to expect from you. But now she doesn't know anything anymore. She doesn't know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're doing with your life, if you've completely gotten over her, or if you still think about her from time to time. This uncertainty is extremely unsettling and, at the same time, extremely exciting for her. She wants to understand you, she wants to decipher what's going on in your head, she wants to know if she still has a chance with you. But you are not giving any clue, any opening, any sign that you are still interested. And the longer you remain in this position of total distance, the more intrigued she becomes, the more curious she becomes, the more obsessed she becomes with understanding you and discovering a way to reach you again. You have become an enigma that she needs to solve, and every human being has a natural need to solve enigmas. The man who doesn't chase automatically becomes more interesting, more desirable, and more valuable than the man who is always available and always pursuing. You understood this in practice, even if not consciously, and now you are reaping the results of this change in posture. Fifth reason, now she sees you as the trophy that got away. In her mind, you have transformed into that rare and valuable trophy that she had in her hands but let slip through her fingers without realizing what she was losing. Before, when you were always present and always available, you didn't represent any special conquest for her. You were just another person. Another common person in her life who didn't arouse any feeling of pride or accomplishment. But now that you're gone and have become inaccessible, the narrative has completely changed in her head. You've stopped being something common and become something special that she couldn't keep. And this deeply hurts the female ego, because no one likes to lose, especially when they realize too late the value of what they lost. She begins to see herself as someone who failed to keep a man of value by her side, and this generates an intense need to correct this error, to prove to herself and to the world that she is capable of winning back what she lost. You have become the symbol of the conquest that got away. And now she desperately wants to recover you to validate her own worth and ability to conquer. This feeling is intensified when she realizes that other women may be noticing you now. When you were always glued to her, always giving attention only to her, other women didn't see you as available or interesting. But now that you're single, free, apparently well-adjusted, and moving on, you automatically become more attractive to other people. And the possibility of another woman conquering you, of another woman getting the trophy she let slip away, is absolutely unbearable for her. She doesn't want anyone else to have you, not because she necessarily loves you, but because you represent something that was hers and that she lost. It's a matter of possession, ego, wounded pride. She wants you back not necessarily to be with you, but to prove that she can still have you, that she still has power over you, that you haven't completely forgotten her. It's like that child who doesn't play with a certain toy until they see another child picking up that toy, and then suddenly that toy becomes the most desired thing in the world. You have become that toy in her mind, that object of desire that she only valued when she realized she no longer had it. Furthermore, the concept of you as a lost trophy directly connects with the regret and nostalgia she feels. She begins to look at the past through rose-tinted glasses, idealizing every moment you spent together, imagining how things could have been different if she had made different choices. She regrets not having valued you, not having enjoyed the time, not having built something real when she had the chance. And this regret transforms into an obsessive desire to go back in time, to have a second chance, to show that now she is different and ready to value you as you deserve. She wants to win back the trophy not just to have it, but to alleviate the pain of regret, to correct the mistake she made, to redeem herself in her own eyes. You now represent that unique opportunity she squandered, that relationship that could have worked, that special man she failed to recognize. And the more time passes, the more this image strengthens in her mind, until you become practically a legend, a love story that ended before it began, an eternal regret that she carries with her. And nothing awakens more desire than what could have been but wasn't. Sixth reason, now your disregard is making her addicted. Your silence and indifference have created an emotional void in her life that acts like an addictive drug. When you were present, giving constant attention, she got used to it without valuing it, as if it were something guaranteed and permanent. But now that you have completely withdrawn that attention, that you have turned your back and moved on without looking back, she is experiencing intense emotional withdrawal. And just like any type of withdrawal, this creates a desperate need to get back what was taken away. The disregard you show by completely ignoring her, by not responding, by not giving any sign that you still care, acts as a powerful trigger that activates all the search and desire mechanisms in her. She catches herself constantly checking her phone, waiting for a message from you that never comes. She is stalking your social media, trying to find out what you're doing, if you're okay, if you're already with someone else. She is creating situations in her head where you meet by chance and you finally look at her again. All this because the disregard you show is fueling a growing obsession that she cannot control. The most interesting thing is that the more you show indifference, the more she wants to prove that she can break that indifference. It's a personal challenge that has settled in her mind. She refuses to be ignored, refuses to be treated as if she doesn't exist, refuses to accept that you simply moved on without looking back. This deeply hurts her ego and creates a compulsive need to reverse the situation. She wants to be seen by you again, wants to be desired by you again, wants to have the attention she had before back. And this desire grows exponentially with each passing day without any contact. Disregard becomes an addiction because she is constantly seeking the validation you used to give and no longer do. It's as if she were addicted to the feeling of being important to you, and now that you have cut off that supply, she is in withdrawal, trying desperately to get another dose. But you are no longer giving any doses, and this constant denial only intensifies her desire, only increases the obsession, only strengthens the addiction. The truth is that this disregard has become the only thing she can think about when she thinks about you. She no longer remembers the good times, the nice conversations, the shared laughs. She remembers the silence, the absence, the indifference, the disregard. And paradoxically, this keeps you present in her mind much more intensely than your physical presence ever did. When you were there being nice and attentive, she took you for granted and didn't think much about you. But now that you show total disregard for her existence, you occupy her mind all the time. She wakes up thinking about you, spends the whole day thinking about ways to reach you, goes to sleep still thinking about the silence that comes from you. Disregard has created an absent presence that is much more powerful than the real presence ever was. She is addicted to the pain of being ignored, the frustration of not getting your attention, the anger mixed with desire that she feels every time she realizes that you really no longer care. And this emotional addiction only grows with time, feeding on its own absence, strengthening with each day that you remain firm in your position of total indifference. You have become the drug she cannot have, and the more you deny it, the more she wants it, the more she needs it, the more dependent she becomes on this unhealthy dynamic that your disregard created. 7th reason. She falls in love because you are now a challenge, and she wants to go all the way. You've stopped being that easy conquest and have transformed into the biggest challenge she currently faces. And there is something in human nature that makes us want to conquer what seems difficult, that makes us want to overcome obstacles, that makes us want to prove that we are capable of achieving what seems impossible. When you were always available, always accessible, always responding, and always showing interest, there was no challenge involved. It was all too easy, too predictable, too boring. But now the situation has radically changed. You have become a mountain she needs to climb, a code she needs to decipher, a fortress she needs to invade. And the more difficult you become, the more determined she becomes to conquer you. It's not even about real feelings necessarily, it's about the challenge itself, about proving to herself that she is capable of winning back a man who turned his back on her. It's about pride, vanity, the need to win this game that has now been established between you. She wants to go all the way not necessarily because she loves you, but because giving up would mean admitting defeat, and no one likes to lose. This challenge becomes even more intense because you are giving absolutely no opening, no weakness, no sign of vulnerability. You didn't respond to that subtle message she sent. You didn't react to that photo she posted clearly to get your attention. You didn't show any jealousy when she tried to provoke you by being near other guys. You simply didn't flinch, didn't move, didn't show any emotion. And this leaves her absolutely desperate and at the same time absolutely determined. Each frustrated attempt to get your attention only increases her desire to try again, to try differently, to find some way to break down this wall you built. She analyzes your every move, every detail of your social media, every person you follow or who follows you, trying to find a clue, a vulnerability, something she can use to finally get a response from you. It's like a game where she is losing badly but refuses to give up, because giving up would be admitting that you are stronger than her, that you got over her while she can't get over you. And her ego simply won't allow that to happen. The most fascinating thing is that the more she tries and fails, the more intense her desire to conquer you becomes. It is a constantly self-reinforcing cycle. Each frustrated attempt should make her give up and move on, but in reality it does the opposite. It intensifies the obsession, increases the determination, strengthens the desire to win this challenge. She begins to fantasize about the day she will finally get your attention back, about the moment you will look at her again with interest, about the victory of having won back a man who seemed lost forever. She imagines how sweet this victory will be, how satisfying it will be to prove that she can, that she has that power, that she is capable of bringing back even a man who swore never to look back. And this fantasy fuels all her efforts, all her attempts, all the plans she creates to try to reach you. You have become her main goal, the mission she needs to complete, the challenge that defines who she is and how much she is worth. And she will try everything, she will use all the strategies she knows, she will do things she never imagined doing, all to overcome you and prove to herself that she can conquer any man she desires, including the one who had the courage to leave and never look back. The challenge you represent has become the reason she can't stop thinking about you and can't move on with her own life. 8th reason. The notification void makes her love the past. The silence of the notifications is killing her inside in a way you can't even imagine. Before, her phone was constantly lighting up with your messages, with photos you sent, with memes you shared, with questions about how her day was, with good morning and good night, with funny videos you thought she would like. Her cell phone had life because of you, had constant movement, had that digital presence that became part of her routine without her realizing it. But now everything has changed. Now the phone is silent. Now the notifications she receives are from other people who don't matter even half as much as you did. Now she picks up the phone 1,000 times a day hoping to see your name on the screen, but never does. And this void, this deafening silence where there was once life and movement, makes her look at the past with a painful and intense longing. She starts scrolling through your old conversations, rereading messages from months ago, remembering how good it felt to receive your attention, how comfortable it was to know that you were always there on the other side of the screen waiting to talk to her. The past has turned golden in her memory precisely because the present is empty. This absence of notifications creates an emotional void that goes far beyond the simple act of not receiving messages. It's as if a part of her routine has been violently ripped out, leaving a hole that nothing else can fill. She tries to talk to other people, but it's not the same. She tries to distract herself with other apps, but always goes back to checking if you've sent something. She even leaves her phone far away trying to stop looking, but 5 minutes later she's checking again, in the irrational hope that maybe this time there's a message from you waiting. And every time she checks and sees nothing, every time the phone remains silent, every time the hours pass without any sign from you, the pain increases a little more and the longing for the past becomes more intense. She begins to completely idealize that time when you talked, transforming even the most banal conversations into precious and special memories. She remembers how you asked about her day, how you cared about the details of her life, how you were always available when she needed to vent or just talk about nothing. All of this now seems incredibly valuable precisely because it no longer exists. The most painful thing for her is realizing that she got used to that attention without ever stopping to thank or reciprocate adequately. She took your presence for granted, treated your messages as something common and unimportant, left you on read whenever she had something more interesting to do. And now that you're no longer there, now that her phone remains silent, she realizes how special that was, how much difference it made in her life, how much effort you put into making her feel important. And this late realization hurts deeply, because there's no going back, because you've already left, because time doesn't stop and doesn't reverse. She spends hours looking at old conversations, laughing alone at jokes you made, feeling her chest tighten when she sees how affectionate and attentive you were, crying as she realizes she threw away something precious that she will never get back. The notification void has become a constant and cruel reminder of what she lost, and the more time passes in silence, the more she loves and idealizes that past that will never return, the more she regrets every moment she wasted, the more desperately she wishes she could go back in time and do everything differently. Ninth reason, now she's the one who will want to prove her worth. The dynamic between you has completely reversed, and now she is the one in the position of having to prove something. When you were always chasing, always striving, always trying to impress her and show that you were a good catch, she was in the comfortable position of the chooser, the judge, the one who decides if it's worth it or not. But now that you simply stopped trying, that you clearly decided she's not worth the effort, that you turned your back and moved on, the situation has radically changed. Now she is the one who needs to prove that she deserves your attention, that she is worth your time, that she is a woman of value you should want by your side. And this inversion deeply affects her because it pulls her out of her comfort zone and puts her in a vulnerable position she is not used to. Suddenly, she finds herself having to make an effort, having to think of ways to get your attention, having to show her best attributes in the hope that you will look at her again. It's a humiliating position in a sense, but at the same time, it's a position that forces her to really care and make a genuine effort. She starts doing things she never did before, all in an attempt to prove she is a woman worth the trouble. She posts better photos, dresses up more, appears in places where she knows you might be or might see her through mutual friends. She tries to show that she's fine, that she's happy, that she's living an incredible life, all in the hope that you see it and think you made a mistake by leaving. She wants you to be jealous, to regret it, to realize what you're losing. But more than that, she wants to prove to herself that she still has value, that she is still capable of awakening desire in you, that she is not easily discardable. Her ego won't accept being forgotten, won't accept being just another person who passed through your life without leaving a mark. She needs to believe that she was special, that she is still special, that you haven't completely forgotten her. And to prove this, she will do everything to appear on your radar again, to get any kind of reaction from you, any sign that you still think about her from time to time. The interesting thing is that all this effort of hers to prove her worth reveals how much she really cares now, even if she won't admit it to herself. If she genuinely didn't care, she would simply move on and forget you. But that's not what's happening. She is constantly thinking about you, constantly trying to find ways to reach you, constantly striving to show she is worthy of your attention. This shows that you have become important to her in a way you never were before. You have become the parameter by which she measures her own worth. If she can win you back, she will feel validated, she will feel valuable, she will feel powerful. But if she can't, she will feel diminished, she will question her own value, she will be left with that sense of defeat that corrodes from within. And that is exactly why she cannot give up, cannot stop trying, cannot accept that you really left. She needs to prove she has value, and the only way to do that in her head now is by winning you back, making you look at her again with desire and interest, showing that she is indeed a woman worth it and that you made a mistake by giving up on her. This need for validation has become an obsession she cannot fully control or understand. 10th reason, now she's jealous of female friends who like your photo. Every like you receive from other women is like a stab in her heart. Before, when you were completely dedicated to her, when you only had eyes for her, when you didn't show interest in anyone else, she didn't even pay attention to it. In fact, she probably didn't even notice the other women around you because you didn't represent anything special to her at that moment. But now that you are distant, now that you have clearly moved on, now that you no longer show any interest in her, suddenly every woman who interacts with you becomes a real threat. She stalked your profile and saw that a friend liked your last photo. She noticed you followed that new girl. She saw you commented on the post of someone she had never seen before. And each of these innocent interactions turns into torment for her, because she imagines that any of these women might be taking up the place that was hers, might be receiving the attention she used to receive, might be winning you over in a way she never managed to when she had the chance. The jealousy she feels now is completely irrational and disproportionate precisely because she never valued you when you were actually hers. She wasn't jealous when you were in love with her, when you only thought of her, when you didn't care about other women. But now that you are free, now that you are open to meeting other people, now that you no longer belong to her even emotionally, she feels a sick jealousy that consumes her inside. She starts investigating every woman who interacts with you on social media. She goes to their profiles to see who they are, what they are like, what they post, trying to find out if you are interested in any of them. She compares these women to herself, looking for flaws in them to feel better, or becoming insecure when she realizes they are beautiful or interesting. She imagines you talking to these women, going out with them, kissing them, and these mental images torture her in a way she never thought possible. The worst of all is that she knows she no longer has the right to be jealous, that you are free to be with whoever you want, that she herself chose not to value you when she had the chance, but even so, she cannot control this destructive feeling that grows more and more. This jealousy intensifies because she realizes that she can truly lose you to another person, that she can see you happy in the arms of another woman, that she may have to watch from afar as someone else conquers you and builds the relationship with you that she didn't want to build. And this possibility is absolutely unbearable for her. She doesn't want you happy with someone else. She doesn't want to see you giving the attention you used to give her to someone else. She doesn't want another woman to receive the affectionate messages, the tight hugs, the passionate glances you had for her. Even if she doesn't want to be with you, she also doesn't want anyone else to be. It's pure selfishness, it's sick possessiveness, it's wounded pride manifesting in the worst possible way. She starts doing absurd things motivated by this jealousy. She posts indirect messages on social media, she tries to show up even more, she tries to get your attention any way she can, all to ensure you still think about her and are not completely focused on other people. Every friend who likes your photo becomes an imaginary enemy in her head, someone who is trying to steal something she considers hers by right, even though she abandoned that right a long time ago. Jealousy corrodes her inside, takes away her sleep, destroys her peace, and the more she tries to control it, the more intense the feeling becomes, until it turns into a constant paranoia that prevents her from moving on and keeps her eternally trapped in the past and obsessed with you. 11th reason, a woman falls in love when she is submissive, and now you have won that position. There is a natural dynamic in relationships where the person who cares less has more power, and you finally understood this and completely turned the tables. When you were always available, always chasing, always submitting to her wishes and whims, you were in the submissive position of the relationship. You were the one who conceded, who waited, who accepted the crumbs of attention she occasionally threw. And in this dynamic, she could never truly fall in love because there was no tension, no challenge, nothing that made her feel that she needed to strive or minimally submit to your terms. But now that you've left, now that you've set your boundaries and simply disappeared when you realized you weren't being valued, the dynamic has radically changed. Now she is the one in the submissive position. She is the one who anxiously waits for any sign from you. She is the one who accepts crumbs if you eventually give some attention. She is the one who submits to your indifference without being able to do anything to change it. And paradoxically, it is precisely this position of involuntary submission that has awakened in her true feelings that never existed before. This change of position has completely altered how she relates to you emotionally. When she was in control, when she was the one who decided everything, when you danced to her tune, there was no room for real admiration or true passion. She saw you as someone weak, someone she could easily manipulate, someone who didn't have enough dignity to leave when not treated well. But now that you've shown you have limits, that you don't accept disrespect, that you don't stay in places where you are not valued, you have automatically assumed the dominant position in the dynamic between you. And even if she never admits it out loud, even if she fights against this feeling, she is naturally attracted to this new position you occupy. She respects you now in a way she never respected you before. She admires your ability to simply leave. She feels small in the face of your indifference, and this feeling, however uncomfortable it may be, creates a powerful attraction that she cannot deny or control. The most fascinating thing is that the more she tries to regain control of the situation, the more she puts herself in a submissive position, because all her attempts to reach you only reinforce that you are the one who has the power now. Every unanswered message, every frustrated attempt to get your attention, every time she lowers her guard and shows that she still thinks about you, all of this places her more and more in the position of the one who is chasing, the one who is submitting, the one who is accepting less than she would like just to have some kind of contact. And ironically, the more she submits to this dynamic, the more she falls in love, because now she is experiencing what you experienced when you were in the same position. She is feeling the pain of liking someone who doesn't reciprocate, the frustration of wanting someone who doesn't want you back, the humiliation of lowering herself trying to win over someone who turned their back. And all this experience, however painful, creates an intense emotional connection that she confuses with true love. In reality, it is just the natural result of finally being in the submissive position of a power dynamic, a position that paradoxically awakens the most intense and obsessive feelings a human being can experience. 12th reason, she wasn't used to men who didn't give attention, and you were the first. Throughout her life, she always had men at her feet giving attention, complimenting, chasing, doing everything to win a space in her life. She got used to this, got used to the feeling of being desired, got used to the power of choosing among several options, got used to men who made a point of showing constant and persistent interest. And you, initially, fit perfectly into this pattern. You were just one more on the list of men who showed clear interest, who sought her attention, who strived to impress her. And precisely for this reason, you didn't stand out at all. You were just one more doing what all the others did. But then you did something no other man had done before. You simply stopped. You gave up. You walked away. And for the first time in her life, she experienced what it is like to not have the attention of a man who was previously completely dedicated to her. For the first time, she was confronted with someone who said no, who set boundaries, who chose his own dignity instead of begging for crumbs of affection. And this was absolutely shocking to her. This new experience completely messed with the expectations and standards she had established throughout her life. She always believed she could have any man she wanted, that a minimal sign of interest was enough for men to come running. And it always worked that way with everyone else, except with you now. You broke the pattern, you didn't follow the expected script, you didn't behave as she imagined any man would behave in front of her. And this created tremendous confusion in her head, because she doesn't know how to deal with this new situation. She has no experience in chasing, in trying to win someone back, in dealing with rejection and indifference. She was always the chosen one, never the passed over one. She was always the desired one, never the ignored one. And now you have put her in a completely unfamiliar position that she doesn't know how to navigate. This generates a mixture of intense feelings: anger because you are not following the script, frustration because she can't conquer you with the strategies that always worked with other men, curiosity about what makes you different, and a growing attraction precisely because you are this unique man who doesn't behave like all the others. The fact that you are the first man who truly ignored her creates a much deeper emotional impact than any display of interest ever created. Interested men are common in her life. She has several and always has. But a man who was interested, who she knows truly liked her, and who still managed to simply leave and move on without looking back. That is unique. That is special. That is different from all the others. And precisely because you are different, because you completely break the pattern she knows, you have become infinitely more interesting and desirable in her eyes. She wants to understand you, wants to decipher what makes you this way, wants to find out what it would take to have you back. You have become a mystery she needs to solve precisely because you don't behave like all the other men she has known. And the more she realizes that you truly are different, that you truly won't go back, that you truly have enough self-respect and dignity not to accept less than you deserve, the more she falls in love with this version of you that she never knew when you were available. You have become the first man she cannot easily have, and that automatically transformed you into the most desired man she has ever known. 13th reason. Now she realized you're better off without her. One of the most painful things for her is realizing that you didn't fall into depression, didn't stop living, didn't suffer eternally from her loss as she secretly expected you to. In her fantasy, you should be devastated, emotionally destroyed, unable to move on, showing the whole world through sad posts and depressive behavior that you lost the love of your life. But that's not what's happening. On the contrary, you are visibly well, perhaps even better than you were when you were chasing her. You are taking care of yourself, focusing on your goals, going out with friends, living your life fully and happily. And this hurts her ego deeply because it shows that you didn't need her to be happy, that she wasn't as essential in your life as she would like to believe, that you managed to find peace and happiness precisely by walking away from her. This perception is extremely unsettling because it forces her to confront an uncomfortable truth. Perhaps she was more of a burden than a blessing in your life. Perhaps you were better off alone than trying to conquer someone who didn't value you. This realization deeply affects her because it completely inverts the narrative she had in her head. She probably thought she was doing you a favor by giving you some occasional attention, that you should be grateful for any crumb she threw, that she was the prize and you were just another competitor trying to win that prize. But now that you are clearly better off without her, now that you are flourishing in her absence, now that you demonstrate through your actions and your energy that you have moved on and are genuinely happy, the narrative changes completely. Maybe she wasn't the prize after all. Maybe she was just an obstacle on your path to real happiness. Perhaps you realized this before her, and that's why you had the wisdom to leave. And the more she observes you living well without her, the more she questions her own value and her own role in people's lives. If you're doing so well without her, what does that say about her? What does that say about the way she treated you? What does that say about her choices and priorities? Furthermore, seeing you well without her awakens an intense desire to be part of this improved version of your life. She wants to be close to this new you who is happy, confident, and well-adjusted. She realizes that she lost the opportunity to be with you in your best version, and this generates deep regret. When you were chasing her, you were probably anxious, needy, insecure, always trying to please and always afraid of losing her. But now you are completely different. You are self-assured, you don't need external validation, you are no longer afraid of losing anyone because you understood that whoever doesn't value you doesn't deserve to be part of your life. And this version of you is infinitely more attractive than that other insecure version she knew. She wants access to this new you, wants to be part of this new phase of your life, wants to be beside this better man you've become. But the cruel irony is that you became this better man precisely by moving away from her, precisely by stopping seeking validation in her, precisely by choosing your peace instead of trying to conquer someone who didn't value you. She realizes that for you to be well, she needed to be out of your life, and this perception is perhaps the most painful of all because it shows that her presence was toxic and destructive to you, and that you only truly managed to flourish when you decided to completely free yourself from her. 14th reason. Now she wants to be the exception to your ignoring rule. You established a clear rule through your actions. You don't give her attention, you don't answer her messages, you don't react to her provocations, you simply treat her as if she doesn't exist. And this firm and consistent rule created an irresistible challenge in her mind. She wants to be the exception. She wants to be that special person for whom you break your rules, that woman so incredible that you can't ignore even while trying, the one who has enough power over you to make you go back on your decision to walk away. It's a matter of ego, of validation, of proving to herself that she is special enough to make you change your mind. She won't accept being just one more person you manage to ignore and forget easily. She needs to believe that she is different, that she is special, that she has something unique that will make you come back eventually. And the more you remain firm in your decision to ignore her completely, the more desperate she becomes to become this exception, to find that right word, that perfect gesture, that infallible strategy that will finally break your resistance and make you look at her again. This desire to be the exception manifests itself in several ways in her behavior. She tries different approaches to see which one might work. First, perhaps she tries the direct approach, sending a casual message as if nothing happened, hoping you will respond normally. When that doesn't work, she tries the emotional approach, perhaps sending something deeper, more vulnerable, hoping you will feel pity or be moved. When that also fails, she tries the provocation approach, posting things she knows will affect you, trying to arouse jealousy or any other strong emotion that will make you react. And when none of this works, when you remain unshakable and continue to ignore everything, she becomes increasingly obsessed with the idea of finding that magic key that will open your door again. She analyzes everything she knows about you, all your tastes, all your preferences, all your weaknesses, trying to find something she can use to finally get your attention back and become the exception she so badly wants to be. The most interesting thing is that the more you deny her the status of exception, the more valuable that status becomes in her head. If you easily gave in to her first attempt to win you back, she would probably lose interest quickly because it would prove that you are not as strong as you seemed, that you don't really have self-respect, that you are easily manipulated. But since you don't give in, since you keep your rules firm regardless of what she does, the challenge of becoming the exception grows exponentially. She begins to fantasize about the moment she will finally succeed, about how special and meaningful it will be when you finally break the silence and talk to her again. She imagines that when that happens, it will definitively prove that she is special, that she has value, that she is capable of conquering even the most difficult and resistant man. And this fantasy fuels all her obsession, all her effort, all the energy she spends trying to reach you. You have become a challenge where winning means proving her own worth, and she simply cannot give up because giving up would mean admitting that she is not as special as she would like to believe, that she doesn't have the power she imagined having, that she is just one more person you managed to get over and leave behind without looking back. 15th reason, now she's the one dreaming of the day you'll give in. The fantasy has completely switched sides. Before, you were the one who dreamed of the day she would finally give you a real chance, would reciprocate your feelings, would value everything you did for her. You spent nights awake imagining what it would be like if she finally opened her heart and let you in for real. You created scenarios in your head where she finally realized your worth and decided to give you an opportunity. But now the positions have completely reversed. Now she is the one who spends nights awake thinking about you, imagining scenarios where you finally answer a message from her, finally look at her again, finally show that you still care minimally. She dreams of the day you will give in, will lower your guard, will give her an opening to enter your life again. She creates elaborate stories in her head about what that moment would be like, about what she would say, about how she would prove that she has changed and that she is now ready to truly value you. And the longer time passes without this moment arriving, the more she dreams, the more she fantasizes, the more she loses herself in these imaginations that become her only hope. These dreams and fantasies consume more and more space in her mind until they become almost a constant obsession. She imagines casual encounters where you run into each other by accident and you finally break the ice and talk to her. She imagines situations where you need her for some reason and finally have to get in touch. She imagines parties or events where you are in the same place and you finally look at her with that gaze that she never valued when she had it. She imagines messages you could send, words you could say, gestures you could make. And each of these fantasies brings a momentary feeling of relief and happiness, as if just imagining it is enough to fill a little of the void your absence left. But soon reality returns, and she realizes that it's all just imagination, that you remain distant, that you remain firm in your decision not to give in. And this return to reality hurts more and more, making her dive back into the fantasies as a way to escape the pain of the present. The saddest thing is that all this energy she spends dreaming of the day you will give in could be used to simply move on and build something new with someone else. But she can't. She is trapped in this fantasy, in this hope, in this remote possibility that you might still come back. And the more she dreams about it, the more she distances herself from reality, the more she disconnects from the other opportunities that life presents, the more she becomes obsessed specifically with you and the possibility of winning you back. She clings to minimal signs, irrelevant coincidences, to anything she can interpret as a sign that you still think about her and that you will eventually give in. She transforms her entire life into an agonizing wait for this day that may never come, sacrificing the present for the sake of a fantasy about the future. And the most ironic thing is that if you really gave in now, if you really came back and gave her the chance she dreams of so much, she would probably lose interest quickly, because what she truly loves is not you, but the fantasy she built, the challenge you represent, the impossible conquest that occupies all her thoughts. The dream of having you back has become more important than having you back actually would be. 16th reason, you have become unforgettable in her mind. There is a type of presence that doesn't need to be physically beside someone to occupy every thought, every moment of silence, every second before falling asleep. When you decided to walk away and stop seeking attention, something completely changed in the way she sees you. You are no longer that man who is always available, always waiting for a response, always trying to please. Now you have become a living memory that she cannot erase, no matter how hard she tries. Every song that plays, every place she passes, every conversation she has with friends, somehow brings you back to her head. She tries to distract herself, tries to meet other people, tries to convince herself that she has moved on. But the truth is that you have created such a deep mark that nothing seems to fill the void that remained. Your silence did not erase you from her life. On the contrary, it transformed you into something bigger, into someone she cannot forget even if she wants to. And the more she tries to get you out of her mind, the more present you become in her thoughts, as if your disappearance has made you eternal inside her heart. 17th reason, now she wants to be the only one. When you were chasing her, she knew she had your heart in her hands and that was worthless to her. But now that you've disappeared, now that you no longer show interest, she starts imagining who is occupying your time, who is receiving the attention that was once all hers. And this corrodes her inside in a way she never imagined she would feel. She looks at social media and sees you living, smiling, moving on, and that drives her crazy because she wants to be the reason for your smile. She wants to be the special person in your life. What was once guaranteed has now become a distant possibility, and this ignites a desperate desire in her to win back the place she lost. She doesn't want to be just one more, she doesn't want to share your attention, she wants to have you whole, exclusively, as she had before but did not value. Now she realizes that other women may see you with the same eyes she should have seen you with, and the idea that you might choose someone else, that you might give to someone else what she rejected, is unbearable. She wants to be the only one because now she understands that you are unique, and the possibility of losing you definitively to another person makes her feel a jealousy that burns, that hurts, that makes her rethink every choice she made. 18th reason, the silence transformed you into the guy she wants to understand. There is something deeply attractive about someone who becomes a mystery, about someone who is no longer open like a book waiting to be read. When you talked too much, when you explained yourself, when you showed all your feelings, she already knew everything about you and that didn't arouse any curiosity. But now that you've gone silent, now that you no longer answer her questions, now that you don't justify yourself or try to prove anything, you have become an enigma she needs to decipher. She spends hours thinking about what you are feeling, what you are doing, who you are meeting, and this lack of answer leaves her completely obsessed. Your silence created an information void that her mind tries to fill with 1,000 possibilities, and each of these possibilities makes her more anxious, more interested, more in love. She wants to understand why you changed, wants to know what happened for you to simply give up on her, wants to find out if there is a chance to win back the man who now seems so different, so strong, so unreachable. And the less you speak, the less you explain yourself, the more she gets closer trying to discover who you really are, because now you are no longer predictable, you are fascinating. You are the challenge she cannot solve, and this keeps her awake every night trying to understand what is going on inside you. If this video made sense to you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment gratitude. This helps the algorithm spread this message to other men who need to know the teachings of our channel. Every interaction strengthens this mission to open eyes and rescue masculine self-esteem. Thank you for being here. Keep following, because every day we bring reflections and tools to help you recover emotional control and become your best version. Big hug, and see you in the next video.